Let's hit the field.
It is Wednesday, October 8th, Game 4 of the American League Division Series. Yankees taking on the Blue Jays and trying to survive and force a Game 5 in Toronto. Cam Schlittler on the mound, trying to back up his historic performance against the Red Sox. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
This episode presented by Fox One. Welcome back, Yankees fans. Welcome back. I'll tell you what, it hurt my soul to see Donnie Baseball celebrating in Yankee Stadium in the wrong uniform. But my favorite Yankee ever, congratulations to him. Congratulations to the Blue Jays. You know, we talk a lot of smack during the series, but that's what sports is about. Talking smack to each other, you know, getting under each other's skin, rooting for our guys, and distracting ourselves from the things that dog us in our daily lives. So congratulations, tip of the cap to the Toronto Blue Jays, American League Eastern Division champions, American League Division Series champions, and they will play in the American League Championship Series. The Yankees have been dethroned as the American League champions. The Blue Jays have proven that you can win with contact in a modern game that values home runs. The Yankees have gone all in on home runs. The Blue Jays seem to have gone all in on making contact, being pesky hitters. It's something that I wish the Yankees would do more of, and I hope that they get back more into that approach next season. You know, home runs are fun as a fan. I mean, it's fun to see a 9-home-run game. It's fun to see 3 or 4 guys have 3 home run games in the same year. But as we saw this year, and as we see most years, when the chips are on the table, and you're facing a matchup game, right, like you were against the Jays tonight, or you're facing a Garrett Crochet or somebody with a really good breaking ball who can throw strikes like Garrett Crochet or, Kevin Gossman or Trey Yasavich, the home run approach is pitchable, right? The contact approach, less so. Credit to the Jays for getting off the mat against a good pitcher in a hostile environment. I thought Cam Schlittler did a phenomenal job tonight, an admirable job. He went 6 1/3. He gave up 2 runs. He didn't walk anybody again. So we've got a flamethrower who's the real deal, and he can throw strikes, unlike some of our other flamethrowers. But enormous error by Jazz Chisholm. I'm sure we'll talk more about that tonight. I thought John Schneider did a phenomenal job pushing all the right buttons and all the right pitching matchups all night long. Grisham had no chance, taking pitches right down the middle, breaking balls that he swung at 10 times in a row, and then he just takes one down the middle. I don't get it. Jazz and Wells were neutralized. Wells went 0 for 4 and had one of the worst at-bats of the entire season. Bellinger was neutralized tonight. He was 0 for 5. He hit .214 in the postseason. Error in judgment, I think, pitching to Vladdy early in the game. Not sure what Aaron Boone was thinking there. Volpe was great against Boston. We got to give him that, but he was brutal in this series. I think he was like 1 for 15 or 1 for 16. I honestly don't remember the one. All I remember right now in my state of mind is strikeout after strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. And we're going to talk more about him later. We got a bunch of super chats that I want to get to. Aaron says, at least we didn't get swept at home, but hey, whether you win a game or not, you're still going home early, which is never the ideal scenario. El Aldry says, mistakes like last year cost us the game. The Jazz error has got me rethinking that extension. We got a call about that, and I got to think about an answer. George Lombard Sr. for new manager. Interesting idea, Brian, because George Lombard Jr. is coming up through the system. So that's an interesting, I'm sure there won't be any favorism over who plays shortstop there. Dell says, trade everyone besides Judge, Jason, and the pitchers. Jason, good to see him getting at bat and get a double in this game. You know, he's a guy with a contact hitting approach. Maybe that's why the Yankees gave up on him. Peter Van Dusen says, this feels like an old loved one dies. At least the pain and suffering has stopped. And then O'Hagan says, see you guys next year. We'll be here all year. And by the way, a couple of positives. Cam Schlittler appears to be the real deal. I trusted him out there as much as I trusted our 150, 160, $200 million guys. Aaron Judge had a great postseason. He went 13 for 26 in the division series. He conquered his demons with the big home run. He hit 500 in the postseason with a 1.273 OPS. I think it's probably going to be forgotten by the casuals, who don't follow the Yankees. They're going to continue with the narrative that Judge can't hit in the playoffs, but we know different now. We know the pressure doesn't affect him now. We know it's been bad timing because he conquered those demons this year. Unfortunately, the team didn't help him out very much. The Yankees did give us a pretty exciting season despite the early exit. Red hot start, bunch of big-time home run games, 34 more runs with Plan B than with Juan Soto last year. 94 wins without Garrett Cole. And missing, Luis Gil for half the year and missing Clark Schmidt for a significant amount of time and missing Jonathan Loaizaga for a significant amount of time. They were able to put together a bunch of wins, but again, a lot of it was hollow. A lot of it was against, the White Sox and the Baltimore Orioles and the Royals and, the Central teams. I'll be releasing my annual video about 5 Yankees who will not be back after the game. And it's important that you watch all the way to the end because I have a segment on Anthony Volpe. We've been going back and forth on him all summer on whether or not he's the right guy for shortstop. We've been talking about it throughout the postseason, whether or not he'll be back. I want to get you guys to weigh in the comments on that. So when I go to the ad later on, Frankie Baseball is going to release that so that when this podcast ends, you guys can just turn it on. The postmortem wrap-up video will come out tomorrow, midday. I got to make a few additions to it, but let's go ahead and get to the key takeaways for those of you who missed the game. Cam Schlittler's first hitter of the game was George Springer. He raked a double into the left field corner, and that meant that first base was open when Vladdy came up, and the opportunity was there to just walk him. Just walk him. Just put him on base. I played 10-year-olds in MLB The Show online that would have walked him right there in a game that didn't mean anything. Here you got an elimination game, and Boone pitches to him for some reason, and of course he makes the Yankees pay with an RBI. Now, if George Steinbrenner was alive, this is a situation where he might call down to the field and fire the manager in the dugout during the game. That's what could have happened. But I'm sure Hal was, doing a crossword puzzle or something. Someone said that the run there didn't matter or wouldn't have mattered because Barger got a hit anyway. But as Michael Kay would say, that's the fallacy of the predetermined outcome. You don't know what's going to happen if it's first and second. Maybe you get a double play ball. Everything changes. Butterfly effect. Chaos theory. Anthony Santander had a really good at-bat in the second, made Cam throw 10 pitches. That's what the Jays did against him last year. I thought that Cam did a really nice job of getting not only through that inning, but figuring out their strategy and adjusting. He started going lower in the zone, just like Eric Kratz said yesterday would be effective. And he got a lot more ground balls, a lot more soft outs. So shout out to Eric Kratz, who also said this would be a slugfest, by the way. But we had a phenomenal over-the-shoulder catch by Volpe. Made it look a lot easier than it was. But again, awful offense. He was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He hit 192 in the postseason, 538 OPS, and awful regular season. So we really have to think about whether or not he's the guy for shortstop next year. Bottom 3, Ryan McMahon goes deep. We got to hear from Smoltz about how it's only a home run at Yankee Stadium, yada, yada. Never heard an announcer sound so bitter about a game-tying home run in a decisive playoff game. Cam pitched around a leadoff double in the fourth. Barger, and then, Barger had a great night, by the way. What did he went 3 for 5. He hit 333 in the series. But he ended up getting through Anthony Santander, who had another good at-bat, but he struck him out with 98 away, low and away this time. Fifth inning, Jays got back on the board, couple of hits and a sac fly. Schlittler struck out Vladdy to end the inning. And then sixth inning, Schlittler induced a 3-6-5-4 double play. Big double play to get out of the inning. Yankees playing a little baseball for once. Seventh inning, he got the double play ball to Jazz, but Jazz booted it.
Our defense.
And that ended up costing the Yankees a couple of runs. They bring in Williams. Williams served up a base knock, but, those runs are unearned because of Jazz Chisholm. So another year ends with a humongous error in a deciding game. Volpe struck out, absolutely useless in this series. Grisham popped out in foul territory to end the threat in the seventh. Eighth, Yankees brought the tying run to the plate in the person of Austin Wells. He popped out to left field on the first pitch. This drove me nuts. This drove me nuts. I'm sorry. This one drove me nuts. Bases loaded. Tying run at the plate. Left-handed power hitter up in Yankee Stadium. We just saw you can hit the ball 320 feet and get a home run out of it. And he, first pitch, pops it to left field. What are you even swinging at that pitch for? What are you even pitch for? That is ridiculous. And I mean, for those of you who are listening and cannot see the look of disgust on my face, I want to repeat this. I want to say this again. Because this is ridiculous. Austin Wells, bases loaded, tying run, lefty in Yankee Stadium. Smoltz just reminded us that giving up home runs is very easy to right field in this stadium. So of course, first pitch, fly ball to left field. First pitch. For those of you listening, that was a chef's kiss. Yankee baseball, and that's why we're done. Dominguez, double in the ninth, as I mentioned. Good to see him do something. Blue Jays take this one. Season over. Mr. Terminator says Boone should be fired. And, you know, on this channel, I think there's one reoccurring segment that I think people like a lot, and it's the belt. I do think we have a belt to give away tonight. I do think that it is important to recognize this game with a belt winner, since it is the final game of the season. And this is the second belt for Voyager 2, the spacecraft, because it doesn't have to receive the signal from this fucking game for 30 years! Fuck! Congrats to Voyager 2, a true accomplishment of human ingenuity. We got a couple of more super chats here. First of all, Earl of Demise says, Wells was ass, Grisham was ass, Volpe can piss off. Judge finally shows up and the rest of the team dies. Jazz can piss off. Fourth year with an opposing team pouring champagne in Yankee Stadium. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Felix says, if it wasn't for Garrett Cole, Schlitty would be my ace next year. He looks so cold in high-pressure situations. Yeah, I love him. I think he's great, and I think that's one of the positives we got to take away. Jared Hood with a super chat. Mike Middleton says, Jays fan here. Judge is scary as hell. Good series. You guys, too. Good luck going forward. Honestly, I'm thinking I might root for the Jays, even though they beat us. I tend to root for the team that knocks out the Yankees, so you can say at least we lost to the champion. But this year it's different. This year I'm rooting for Donnie Baseball. I want Donnie to get his ring. He earns it. He is my favorite Yankee of all time. James T says, love everything you do. Here's how cleaning house this winter. Seeing Donnie Baseball in their dugout was one final kick in the you-know-what. All right, so let's talk about Cam Schlittler, who I think did his job and pitched to a 1.26 ERA in the postseason, 0.91 whip. Tonight, look at the strike-to-walk ratio. 88 pitches, 69 strikes. This is a guy who has figured out how to throw strikes and does it at 100 miles an hour. And tonight, the velocity was down a little bit, but man, he still looked impressive, cool under pressure, didn't break a sweat. I'm excited to see what he can do in a full year. Right now, I'm penciling him as the Yankees' number 2. I mean, that Fried number 1, Schlittler number 2, Cole number 3 as he works his way back from Tommy John with hopes that by the end of the season he can be back to number 1. And then Rodon number 4. And right now, number 5, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Luis Heel did not pitch well in the postseason. I don't know. I mean, maybe you deal him. Maybe it's Warren. Maybe you call up one of the younger guys. You know, we'll see. That'll be part of the off-season plan. David Hayes says, are there any good free agent catchers on the market? I tell you what, Alejandro Kirk, man, that guy's a hell of a player. Franklin Lopez says, well, that's a wrap. Defense cost the Yankees yet another series. Thanks for another amazing season of Yankees content. You're one of the best around. Thank you very much. Hopefully big changes in the offseason, and I will be here to cover all of them. Tip of the cap to you guys. By the way, if you want to help me out, go ahead and like the channel, or like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We got 2,100 people watching. We're here after every game all year. We do pre-games all throughout the season. We're on audio platforms. We're part of the Foul Territory Network. You can get merch at nyydesigns.shop and pinstripeterritoryshop.com. And, by the way, this is a very difficult show to do. I want to give a shout out to some guys who helped me out this year. TK, Terrence Kem out there in LA. Round of applause for Terrence Kem. Shout out to Frankie Baseball, who helps out behind the scenes, and he was on the pregame show. You're going to see a lot more of Frankie next year. A lot more of Frankie. Frankie, if you're watching, prepare. You're going to be on a lot more next year. TK, hopefully we'll do some more watch parties next year. That's going to be fun. But let's go ahead and take some voicemails. We got a lot of them tonight.
It's just a reaction.
Okay, let's start with this one on Jazz.
Derek, that Jazz era probably cost us Game 5. That being said, you still want the Yankees to bring this guy back for next season? It's going to be hard to look at this kid if we lose this game.
It's difficult for me to answer that right now because I'm pissed off at him, right? It's like, I remember when I got my puppy, Cece, who passed away last year on opening day. There was a time early on when she just kept crapping on the rug, and I was like, oh, man. She's got to either be an outside dog or she's got to go to the pound, and I forgave her, though, because it was just mad, and I was just mad. I was in my feelings. I'm not ready to send Jazz to the pound yet, but I'm not ready to give him an extension. I think I've been saying all year, give this man an extension. How about we let him earn an extension now, okay? That's a big error. That's the kind of error and the kind of postseason. Second year in a row, he's hit under 200 in the postseason. I think he needs to earn another contract. Here's Ted. Oh, and by the way, before I play Ted, I had to honk out some of the curses on this one. Actually, Frankie helped me out with that. So if you hear some funny sound effects, those are F-bombs.
Ted from Harlem here. Same shit every year. It's the entire philosophy from top to bottom. They're swinging for contact. We're swinging for launch angle. I'm tired of seeing Wells, Chisholm. They look like Darryl Strawberry with these big looping swings. They're awful. Same thing every year. Boom gets outmanaged. He's terrible. It's just awful. But I expected them to lose because they're just not as good as the Blue Jays. Top to bottom.
So first of all, Ted, you're correct. I think the Blue Jays are a better constructed team. I'm going to go ahead and admit that. We talk a lot of smack during the series, as one does during a playoff series, but they did a great job, and we got to salute them for that. And also, you made me put Frankie to work with that many F-bombs. I don't blame you. I felt the same way. But let's just try and, let's turn that down a little bit.
Derek, bases loaded, Wells at the plate, pitcher is struggling to throw strikes. Am I nuts here to think that maybe Wells should take a pitch? I mean, am I wrong here? Take a pitch. Let's see if the guy can get it in the zone. We're down 4 runs. Jesus, have a good night.
So I think I made my opinion on that scenario clear early on. Jared Hood says the genius of Boone puts Dominguez in for Volpe, who had 12 strikeouts. He hides him on the bench the entire series, and he immediately hits a double. Yeah, he's too much of a contact hitter for the Yankees. Shane Johnson says, Cash, do something you never do. Trade Heel while you can still get some value for him. Great pod season, Derek. Belt tonight should go to you. I appreciate that. Belt to you, Shane. Actually, no, it goes to Voyager too. Let's see here. So when I save these voicemails out of my inbox, I listen to the first 30, 40 seconds usually. And then I give it a title when I download it. And this one is just called General Grievances.
Hey, Derek, it's Philip. I was like to say, I'm calling in at the bottom of the 8th, but, it's not looking good. I'm trying to be optimistic. All I got to say is, Anthony Volpe, I want him off the team. It's been, 3 years? No fucking development. He can't even foul the ball. Have you seen him make contact on any of the swings? Nothing is competitive with him. I swear, every at-bat with Anthony Volpe is less than 6 pitches and he's out.
We got another one from MB here.
MB here, and I just want to say, why is Volpe still playing? Why was he not pitch hit for? Okay, Go Yankees. I'm pissed.
I think we crossed some streams there on the voicemails, but technical glitches, whatever. Here's another one.
Hey, Derek. Well, another season comes, another season goes, and another failure of a year. You know, I don't know how many times we're going to have to do this. This offense does not work, and I don't know what they need to do to figure that out. Okay, this home run or nothing offense does not work, and Jazz needs to go. Guy is as brain dead as I've ever seen him. I know you like him, but the guy is as brain dead as I've ever seen a player. Another disappointment of a season. This whole organization needs an overhaul. I know you said that.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I think a lot of fans are probably going to be on the get rid of Jazz train right now, but he still had a really good year. I mean, he still hit a game-winning home run in Game 4. I mean, you know, he's a good player, but he's got a lot of blemishes. Got a lot of blemishes there.
Yo, Derek. All right, Jays are up 5-1. Yeah, you know, I can't be too mad about this. I think with the game yesterday, with the big comeback, although that was a historic comeback, we should definitely be excited about that. I think that this just sums up the Yankee season. This is what we saw all season. Very bipolar baseball. Big home run derbies.
Yep. You kind of cut off there a little bit, but yeah, the Yankees were very feast or famine all season long. Here's Brian. Always great takes.
Man, when everyone else crapped to bed, Schlittler is, who would have thought, a rookie, but the only starter that seems like this team can depend on to go out there and get 5+. Dude's a stud. We got to score some runs for the guy. They only got 2. We got 1 right now. Just ended top of the 5th. We got to get this boy some runs, man. Let's go. Game 5.
Yeah, spoiler alert, didn't happen. Andrew Calabria says Giancarlo Stanton was a disappointment this season. He definitely failed to go full Oppenheimer. All right, let me talk about Fox 1. Just a reminder that all playoff coverage, remaining playoff coverage, is brought to you by Fox 1. And you can stream all of it on Fox 1 live. Stream all your favorites together in one place, including the American League Championship Series, which will include the Toronto Blue Jays and either the Tigers or the Mariners. I saw the Tigers came back and won in their game. So that series is tied 2-2. And that is going to be an interesting Game 5. I'm going to watch that Game 5. You know, if it ends up being Blue Jays versus Tigers, I'm taking the Blue Jays. If it ends up being Blue Jays versus Mariners, I'm taking the Mariners. I think the Blue Jays match up better with the Tigers than they do the Mariners. And look, it's going to be an interesting series either way. But like I said, I think I'm going to pull for the Blue Jays. I think I'm going to pull for Donnie Baseball to get his ring. That's kind of how I feel. But, yeah, from MLB postseason to NFL on Fox to Big Noon Saturdays with Fox 1, you get it all live. Sorry for my lack of enthusiasm, Fox 1. You waited till elimination games to start doing this. I'm sorry. Start your 7-day free trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to fox1.com for complete terms and conditions. Fox 1 streaming now. Round of applause for our sponsors tonight. Fox 1. Tom Brady, he doesn't even look human in that picture. Like he looks like an avatar or something. And Gordon Ramsay doesn't age. I mean, I don't, you know, what? It's crazy, these dudes. Let's wrap it up here. Here's Hugh on Volpe.
Hi, this is Hugh from Brooklyn. I can't believe that they didn't pinch hit for Volpe. I mean, how much longer are we going to have to look at this guy? Get rid of him. He's not a championship player. You win with championship players. Get rid of him. I don't want to see a 4th year of Volpe. He's out of time.
I don't disagree. You know, I had him in my 5 Yankees who won't be back. I went back and forth as to whether or not he'd be in the actual 5. But if Frankie Baseball did his job, that video is live now, and you can go watch it on my channel and find out what I did have to say. I tried to make it kind of fun, and lighten the mood a little bit for you guys. But thanks for a great season. Once again, the best community in all of Podcastistan. Pinstripe territory, back at ya 2 times a week, all winter long. We're going to talk about the offseason blueprint. We're going to talk about the 96 Yankees. We're going to try and talk to some notable baseball players and writers about the offseason, the Hot Stove League. Obviously, we'll cover the awards and find out if Judge gets an MVP or if he loses out to Cal Raleigh. We'll talk about all of that. And, we'll take your voicemails, your calls all the way. So you're a part of it. You're why this channel is successful, not me. I'm basically just a conduit. I'm your voice. And I'm trying to finish my book, Pinstripe Therapy, in time for Christmas. If not, hopefully, it's hard to write a book, guys, because every time I write something, I think of something else, or something happens and distracts me. I'm doing a lot of stuff on the side here. I'm working, and I'm trying to, do these shows. So I'll have more time over the next few weeks to work on it, unfortunately. But when that comes out, I will let you know, and hopefully it'll be a great Christmas gift for you guys. But final chat of the night, Ducky Fett says, thanks for everything. Watched almost every game and tuned in later. Not the ending we wanted, but glad Judge had a nice series. Nice job for Aaron Judge in, what was a series, a postseason in which he had to do something. He had to do it. He had to hit this year, and he did. So this is not on him. It's on the pitching. It's on the defense. And I'll see you when I see you. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out nydesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.